I really do believe, and we believe in the power of the consumer. Most consumers have good intent. And in fact, I actually believe that most consumers are not trying to make a return. Most people, I think, doing a return is not the best experience. But returns are about peace of mind. The living room really is the new fitting room. And most consumers are not trying to abuse policy, but they also need to have the ability to try, especially if we're talking about apparel that has sizing and footwear and things. We also know that only, 80% of all returns fraud is from less than 5% of consumers and probably closer to less than 2% of consumers. And so this is not about setting out with fear, because I think at the top line, people really are, trusting and good customers. But we also recognize that small amount of consumers are having an outweigh size of impact, and those are the really important things to try to cut out. I think the good news is that we as an industry really have so many more tools available to us than ever before. The acceleration of AI and large language learning models over the past 2 years has really led to everyone having the ability to analyze data a lot more quickly, having more data inputs to be able to synthesize and start to use. And as you referenced earlier, Narvar has a bunch of data from the interactions that we have viewed over the last 10 years of our business. We sit on over 42 billion annual touch points of data, which is order data, shipment data, carrier data, logistics data, grading information, warehouse data. And now, through the acceleration of AI tools, we've been able to really launch our tool set, which is Iris, as I mentioned before, where we can really start to look at aggregated behavior and intent signals and use that data back with our retail partners to build better experiences. Yes, of course, the first thing that we talk about today is how do you help use that data to cut out crime. Generally what we see, like I said, is a large amount of crime is a lot small people, so the behavior is there and the signals are there, and they look the same. And can we really ice those out? And then the power of that is once you ice out the bad criminals, you can start to use data for a really good purpose. So how do you reward your best customers? How do you reward customers that you don't know are going to be your best customer, but we might because of their behavior across the industry? We're in the era of hyper personalization, and Iris is going to become a really powerful tool for the industry and for our retailers, not only in post-purchase, but in pre-purchase as well, to use the data and signals to really accelerate revenue growth, revenue retention, and then, of course, the revenue protection I mentioned as well.